Welcome back to Game Rogue's $1,000 Cinco de Mayo tournament. We have one of our 6 victors joining alongside us. I'm Time to Light. Down there is Infernosis, and over here is Mr. P himself. Uh, Normally I'd just say, how do you feel about the win? It's a nice 2-0 victory. How is it? How in the world do you come back from 6-0 down? This is the second time I've seen this in 3 days.
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, we were like, we picked that map against Knicks and them, or they picked it actually, but we planned to pick it. And then we won 7-0, and then we like went into that game, and we were like feeling super confident. Then we're down 0-6. I mean, it seemed like this on the attacks. We were just getting picked early, and we weren't finding picks on our lurks, which we usually be doing, and we're used to that. But on the defenses, I mean, Sky is just a hard map to attack for the most part, so it was just no teams just knew how to play defense. Then the last round we were on 7-6. We just like you saw we got the first pick and we didn't give any picks to them early. So that was like the biggest thing. We were on the same page on the attack, even though it wasn't like it's not like a perfect attack. We just 3-2-1 something and we were all spread out and we were able to get the pick. So that's kind of what we needed earlier in the game.
It looked great, and to be fair, it needed to, because you guys could have gone to another round of defense, but I don't really want to test the waters too much. Speaking of defense, though, and more specifically your selections, what's up with the Clash? Brought out and the run out on balcony and everything for that second map of Skyscraper. What's going on with that?
I don't know. They put an air jab on the second time, and I like threw an impact on the floor, and there's like a thing that blew up. But I don't know. I guess it didn't blow up the air jab or something. I like thought it should have got blown up. So and then I walked out and I got air jab, so I just trolled there. But I think the Clash is good because like, I mean, you could just run out and be annoying there, but also like the Clashes are good to hold dragon. If I just sit there like dragon and then a guy plays behind the dragon and they could like peek while people are slowed, I think it's really strong. So that's the plan with that.
I believe we've had no audio for you this entire time, the broadcast. I don't know if that's entirely true. Not sure. Okay, we're good. You're fine. Sorry to interrupt you. Continue.
Okay. Yeah. No, that was it. I mean, yeah, the Clash is just good. Like they're pushing lanes. They're either pushing Terrace or Dragon, maybe both. But Clash just like shuts down a lane, especially the Dragon one. So it's nice.
Yeah, and in the later stages, it seems like you guys were caught out on the attacking side. There's 2 ways outside of direct gunfights that you lose fights. It's Rainbow Six Siege moments, which happen every so often, but not as often here, and timing. It seemed like the timing was really getting the better of you. A little bit over towards map 1, but you guys won 7-1. It really didn't become a factor, but a lot more in the earlier stages of Skyscraper. You guys were able to relinquish that and really take control of it on the defensive side. Can you talk to me about how you alter your playstyle when you keep getting cut off like you were on the attack?
Like when we were attacking. Yeah, I mean, we were kind of like sticking to what we didn't really change that much, I guess, but like it was just most of the time when we were doing this stuff, and then we do what we planned out, and like we were like pretty confident, and we've been doing it for a minute. It works out always, and then we just like lose someone to something that we just never would recover. And there was some rounds like that one barbecue attack. I think it was the 3rd round of the game. We were like a 4v3. We had the bomb set, and then there was just the guy in kitchen who won like 2 gunfights on Black Stairs. Like he just won his one, so we just couldn't execute. So there's a couple of close rounds we could have had, but I would say biggest thing, we didn't adapt that well, and then like we were just getting early picked. We were always in 4v5s, 3v5s, working deficits, and that's a hard map to bring back deficits. So
I would talk more about Skyscraper, but I'm sure you want to put that behind you as best as possible and stop having it
That's fine.
smack you with the PTSD. It's a close call, though.
It's a good learning
a less
experience
stressful map.
Yeah.
Cafe for you guys was beautiful. Beyond that, pristine. On top of that, the one thing that we wanted to call out, and we commented about so heavily on that map, was the Aruni play up on the 3rd floor inside Freezer, as well as when you were playing on the 2nd floor to hold Kitchen. Y'all were holding off that cutoff angle coming up from White Stairs round after round, denying the pressure from 1 HP. Who came up with that strategy? Because that is the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen. And it worked so often. It even worked in one of the rounds when you came over to Skyscraper. They never saw it coming ever.
That was me and Asian. We make all the strats. I made like the strat, and then like I had the below hold, a different thing, and he looked at it, he's like, no. Box me in reading, and then make vert, and then you'll walk down with Clash, and then I'll just sit there and box myself in reading, and you guys hold vert. So I would say mainly Asian was the one who created us like putting that vert hole and like boxing and reading. But like the top floor is mainly me for everything there. Yeah, me and him work out together for all the defenses. I think we do a good job with it.
Individual innovation. I think that's the way that this can be brought forward and summed up. Before we do indeed close things out, Poison, we want to give you the floor. Anybody you want to shout out? Any final thoughts in the series? Any anything you want to brag about, considering you just came back and scored 8 rounds in a row? The floor is all yours.
Nah, I mean, it feels good. We 14-0'd a team in a BO3 this weekend, and we came back from a 0-6 to win A6. So, two pretty crazy things happened. I don't think we dropped a map the whole tournament, so I mean, we'll take it. You know, we'll learn from what we can from like losing rounds, but overall, solid tournament. We're looking to carry on into the Xenon playoffs next week. Shout out my team. You know, always putting that work. This is good stuff all around. That's not much to say.
Speaking of the Xenon playoffs, if anybody is at all curious, you will play them in the grand finals. Should you actually take on 1HP
Yeah.
again, they would have to beat Wildcard Aces and the winner of Karn & Co. and Decimate, should they make it to that spot for anybody who's keeping track elsewhere in Tier 3/Tier 4. Poison, thank you very much for joining us, and again, congrats on the victory.
Thank you.
Well, as we move forward into our statistics, really to boil things down, the 2 stats you can only kind of see are Tra at 25 and 10 and Twist at 10 and 20 on the bottom floor. They were a little longer than expected in terms of how wide KD could be. Shows you how long this series went.
I'm also seeing a notable absence here of Aimkey.
He's just a bad player.
Kronk, is that Aimkey? Use their name?
I believe it was copied over incorrectly. I'm like 80% sure that Kirk is Skunky, Skunky is Twist, Twist is Big Guy, and Big Guy is actually Aimkey, and they have an extra player over the top of it. I'm honestly not 100% sure, but summing things up, the TLDR of things is 2-0 for Arial Rise, 7-1 on Cafe, 8-6 on Sky, really to close things out and dominate in the later stages. And for all of you who didn't pay attention to the interview, who kind of missed the entirety of Skyscraper and were like, oh, I wonder how that went. TLDR, 6-0, and then Arial Rise turned on some switch, whether it was the winning round switch, the I casually have wall hack switch, whichever one it was, the defense switch in terms of overtime or halftime or whatever it was, and then they won 8 in a row to win 8 rounds and subsequently the map.
Well, either way, it's all over finally here, Dan, and tournament as a general. Big congratulations to the winner of Arial Rise. So there's still plenty more to come. There's a console tournament coming up on June 16th through the 18th, and there's another PC tournament coming through June 23rd through the 25th. So make sure you guys sign up for those. Make sure you guys are involved because you don't want to miss out on any of these oh-so-fun events and chances to test yourself against some of the best, like Arial Rise, who rightfully so take this W here.
And as we move forward, a massive thank you to everybody who's been in the background, our producers locking things down, MI Blizzard and Zaysho, who just took over for this map alone, our observers, Stan and Fallen Griffin, our back-end production help, Yali, our productions director, everybody who made all the interviews from Fiend and Fi to Kyler to help out in the background. Basically, everybody and their mother has been on the board here at Game Rogue. And of course, thank you to you all. This wouldn't be possible without the support from the Twitch side of things as well. We're going to close things out again, console tournament and PC tournament, over the next 3 and 4 weeks respectively. Hopefully we see you there. If not, hopefully we'll see you later on as well.